Disney had better savor that upcoming victory that they are having for Deadpool and Wolverine, which off to a raucous start. And then also, what is it? Inside Out 2 just became the most profitable animated movie of all time. I was like, who saw that one coming? That's kind of crazy. But also Disney didn't think that they would end up taking in all of those W's this year, and then probably having to shill them out here by the end of the year, because there was a little lawsuit hanging over their heads that got filed here at the beginning of the year involving one of the actresses that they decided to kick out very and incredibly unjustly. And well, thanks to the power of Elon Musk and his bottomless pockets, decided to file a little defamation suit that you might have heard of. Gina Carano, after she was unjustly dismissed from the Mandalorian, citing a meme that she reposted on Instagram saying that, hey, the government demonizing you against your neighbors, it's probably not a good thing. That was back in November or December of 2020, and now flash forward to July of 2024, and brother, we're heading to trial. And also, more juicy, we're heading to discovery, kids. Fired Mandalorian actor Gina Carano moved to tears after victory against Disney in her Elon Musk-funded lawsuit. Let's get into this. Gina Carano's lawsuit against the Walt Disney Company and its subsidiary Lucasfilm lives to see another day. A Los Angeles federal judge has denied Disney's motion to dismiss the lawsuit, which was filed by Carano after she was ousted from the Disney Plus Star Wars-linked streaming series The Mandalorian 3 years ago over social media posts comparing the political climate in the United States. That's not even true. Okay, that's what Disney alleges. That's the lie that's right there. Okay, we've shown the post time and time again, and yeah, it's saying that the government, the way that they turn you against your neighbor is through propaganda, lies, misinformation. It's not a good thing, and what's happening right here, lies and propaganda. But it's kind of crazy that you had a California-based judge look at the complaints, look at the facts presented in front of them, and decided to go, defamation's tough to prove, but you kind of got the facts on your side here, Gina. U.S. District Judge Sherilyn Peace Garnett, who was appointed to the bench by President Biden. One guess as to what Sherilyn Peace Garnett looks like. Rejected Disney's claim Wednesday that had a right to disassociate its own artistic message from Carano's outspoken political beliefs. Then she looked at those political beliefs, and it's like, yeah, you do have your right to distance, but you also have to cite one of her outspoken political beliefs. You didn't. The court denies defendant's motion. And now we get into Gina's response. I moved to tears after 3.5 years. I am being given the opportunity to move forward in the court of law before the judge and my peers declare my name. I am so grateful for this opportunity. What has happened to me, and then it just continues to move forward. In February of 2021, Carano was fired from the cast of The Mandalorian after she sparked outrage on social media when she denounced COOF lockdowns and claimed that conservatives were being persecuted. Really? Because they actually have the post that's right here, right? And I just want to know. I just want to know where conservatives, Republicans, or anything else that you want, go ahead and imply. I just want to know where she specifically has that. But yes, Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children, because history is edited, and most people today don't realize they get to the point where the soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews. The government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? Yeah, no, that's it. That's the post. That was the post that ended up going too far. Well, that, and also when it was mandated from on high at Lucasfilm that everybody associated with the Star Wars project had to publicly announce their pronouns, and Gina, thinking that was silly, which it absolutely is, decided to make a little joke out of it by going beep/bop/boop. They wanted her head there. Use this as justification, but oopsie daisy. This was far too innocuous, especially when you have comparisons like what Jack Black, Pedro Pascal, Pablo Hidalgo. You want to run down the list? Mark Hamill. If you want to get real spicy, why hasn't Lucasfilm disassociated themselves in a public fashion the way that they did for Gina Carano? Why haven't they done that with anybody else on another side of the political aisle? Makes the old noggin jog, doesn't it? Carano fell under heavy criticism after she posted the post that she did. We don't need to go over that again, but Carano, who played a recurring character, Cara Dune, was fired from the Star Wars series, and also another planned show that they had on there, which I'm sure would have been just as bad as The Mandalorian, The Rangers, The Republic. It was something like that. She was supposed to have her own show, and that got taken away. Her character appeared in several episodes of the second season of The Mandalorian, and also the first season series about, crap. It's terrible. It's awful. Don't worry about him. Carano, a former mixed martial artist whose Dune character was used with a heavy mix of weapons and her fists. Yes, because that's the thing about wrestlers wrestlers or mixed martial artists who make the transition. They always get typecast as the heavy. I've been criticized on social media for posts that mocked wearing a mask during the pandemic and in the 2020 presidential election. I mean, she has working eyes, right? She also mocked the use of gender pronouns. Yeah, and that was the big one, listing beep, bop, boop on her social media bio. Earlier this year, Carano wrote a lengthy post on X, which she praised Musk, the Tesla CEO, for his noble offer to financially back her lawsuit. But it seems apparent that her termination resulted from a social media post, and she's likely able to prove all of that at trial. Rich Schoenstein, a trial attorney and partner at Manhattan-based law firm Tarter, Krinsky, and Dogan, told the Post. The bigger question is if the trial court decision on the law will survive on appeal, as this raises a fundamental issue about the rights of employees to make public statements that might not align with the positions of their employers. But that is all the stuff that we're going to end up finding when this eventually does go to trial. And it's so funny, right? Because Disney, it's the biggest dog in the yard when it comes to entertainment, right? Like, there's many L's as they've taken recently. Like, this is still far and away the biggest entertainment company. And it has been well known for a long time that they have the best lawyers on retainer. So it's not going to be a fair fight. It's not going to be an easy fight, but it is definitely going to be a winnable fight, because in recent years, right, Disney was supposed to beat Florida. It didn't. Disney was supposed to beat, CFTOD. It didn't. Disney was supposed to beat Ron DeSantis. They didn't. Disney is going to beat Gina Carano this time around, right? They're going to beat Gina Carano and Elon Musk. But Disney, now more than ever, is going to be incredibly motivated to just go ahead and settle this crap. They're going to want to pay Gina off before all of those backroom discussions between Kathleen Kennedy and the underlings at Lucasfilm that decided to force their hand and fire her out of nowhere for a rather benign tweet. I'm sorry, I don't even know what they call it. An Instagram post? We'll go with that one, okay? An Instagram story. She posted an Instagram story and it ended up getting her terminated. We're going to have to get more information as to that 40-person struggle session, 40-person Zoom call that Gina was supposed to attend with a bunch of activists to just run her down for an hour on end, which Gina offered a counterpoint of, we can just go sit down and have a meal and a conversation with these people and they can air their grievances that way. But no. Disney and Lucasfilm more than likely had some very sensitive conversations that they're not going to want to have get out there. But now that we're heading to trial, Discovery is going to be a part of that. And what about Gina Carano reveals whether or not she will settle with the Walt Disney Company amid ongoing lawsuit? Well, here's the thing, okay? Gina Carano, her family, very well off. Gina Carano had a very, very successful career prior to and including acting, okay? She doesn't really need the money, if we're being completely honest, okay? So there's no fiduciary incentive unless, of course, Disney decides to back up the Brinks truck and makes her a billionaire overnight. There's no real reason to settle, but let's hear what Gina has to say about this. During a panel at Fanboy Expo Knoxville earlier this month, YouTuber Valiant Renegade questioned Carano on whether or not she would settle with the Walt Disney Company. Okay, Carano responded, I kind of go back and forth on that, and I'll be real honest with you. I feel like at the point when all of this is going to stop. When is somebody going to stop them from treating people the way that they've treated people for how long they've treated people like this? I should say people one more time. She continued. And then there's the second part of my brain is I've been through a lot of this stuff over the past 4 years, and I just want to tell stories, and I don't want to be constantly in court or constantly be political even. So I think we have a really strong case, stronger than most people. A lot of people tell me, very strong case, very strong. And the internet will let you know. I feel very, very positive because I don't have very much. I don't have anything to hide, and they have everything to hide. So I would be very nervous if I was them. What does that that say if you do a little bit of reading between the lines, Carano then shared. So I pray that when it comes, if that comes, that I make the right decision. And I feel like it'll be a success story. Well, I feel like it's already is because as soon as the lawsuit hit, I had incoming phone calls and I had so much support from people that needed to see somebody fight back. And thank you to Elon for doing that for me. That has been one of the most incredible blessings of my life, just because. Just him doing that made people's brains understand, for some reason, and it shouldn't be like this. You shouldn't have to take somebody to court for somebody to respect that you were disrespected. But it really turned people's brains on to, she's fighting back, and I'm definitely willing to go full on. I will go full on to the end. I hope she means every word of that, because taking Disney to court in such a public forum with such public figures in tow is going to be very important. Because if you thought discourse in front of the camera was terrible from all of these big corporations, just wait until you see what they're talking about behind the scenes, because it's going to be bad. Okay, because these people aren't smart enough to use coded language. They are too brazen, bold, and arrogant not to be saying incredibly dumb stuff. Like, we've seen some leaked Zoom calls of Bob Iger basically separating his shoulder, patting himself on the back for thinking that he cured racism because they greenlit Black Panther. These people. This is why I have so much hope that things are going to get better in the future. Our opposition is so monumentally stupid, arrogant, hubristic, and stupid. So Gina getting this far, and then also getting the green light to head towards Discovery, as long as she keeps a stiff upper lip, as long as she means the words that she is willing to go full to the end, this could very well be the impetus of these companies straightening up and flying right. And I don't mean, making a big hard right turn. I just mean getting their dumbasses out of politics, jettisoning all of the activists that clog up all of their departments. Let's just go back to normalcy, or at least as close as we possibly can, in light of this absolute dick down. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.